Hi, fourth graders. This is Mrs. Kalen. I am here coming to you today with a few activities that we're going to do in library this week. I'm hoping that everybody's doing well, that you are not going too crazy at home with your families, that you're getting some schoolwork done and able to have a little time to relax and do some things that you enjoy as well. Okay, so this is what we're going to do this week. We're going to do two things. We're going to kind of divide the lesson in half this week. We're going to go over the results of the Cook Prize. Now, I know that it was a little bit different since we did this at the beginning of our distance learning time. And so there were some of you who were able to get through all the lessons and vote, but not everybody. So our results this time may not show exactly what the whole group would have thought of all of these. So we're just going to do the best we can with the results that we have. So what I'm going to show you in just a minute, I'm going to show you some graphs that we have from our voting system. So if you were able to vote, you know there were two questions. One that was just your choice for the winner of the Cook Prize, the book that you felt was deserving of the winner, that was your favorite for any number of reasons, which I would love to hear from you, why you chose what you chose. And the other question was just which class you were in, so that we can see kind of a breakdown of who liked what from which classes. So I am going to do a screen share here so that you can see some of these graphs. Hang on just a second. Okay, we're going to do the screen share, and you are going to see here are the Cook Prize results. So we have, in first place, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the covers of the books again in just a minute. As you can see, in first place with the most votes, we have Hedy Lamarr's Double Life, Hollywood Legend and Brilliant Inventor, with 46.2% of the vote. And in second place was Flower Talk, How Plants Use Color to Communicate. Every year, it's kind of interesting, every year there seems to be some books that are more informational, some books that are more stories, biographies, things like that. And this is the first year that I felt there was a really, really great, really interesting informational book that would be popular among students. And I think I was right, even though it came in second place. This is definitely a book that a lot of students seem to respond to and enjoy. Third place was The Secret Engineer, How Emily Roebling Built the Brooklyn Bridge. And in third place with 7.7% was Mario and the Hole in the Sky, How a Chemist Saved Our Planet. We seem to have had the most votes from, actually from the two fourth grade classes, which makes sense, half and half. And there were a few third graders who participated as well. The fifth graders, really only a couple of them, it was sort of a optional extra activity, and a few of them listened to some of the first lessons, but I don't think they actually voted. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So we have half of each, it seems to be an even number of fourth graders from both of the classes who responded. We can also see the individual responses here. And I can see each one who voted for what. It doesn't say your name, obviously, but we can see in each class, I can flip through the responses and see all the responses to each of the questions. So we can see okay, here's a fourth grader from Miss Levin's class who voted for Hedy Lamarr's Double Life. It's kind of fun to be able to look at these results in different ways. So I'm going to end the screen share here. Hang on a second. And go back to talking to you. And I would love to hear from you about what you enjoyed about each of these books. Again, I'm going to show you these covers. This was the winner, Hedy Lamarr's Double Life, Hollywood Legend, Brilliant Inventor. This book, it was like, I think you had the combination of a like exciting story, surprising qualities in a person, two different stories that kind of came together, maybe what people responded to. Flower Talk, which came in second place, was so different. This was really like information about plants that, while it was told in sort of a funny way, were things that I really didn't know before. And I have to say, I'm not supposed to give away my favorite before the voting, but I can tell you now, this is the one that I would have chosen had I been allowed to vote. I'm not a kid, so I can't vote. I've used this book a lot in the last couple of weeks. As we know, one of the only activities that we can really do outside right now is take walks. And so I have been taking a lot of walks with my family, with my 6-year-old son, and we've been looking at a lot of flowers, and we even have an app on my phone that lets you identify all sorts of things, plants, animals, insects, and kind of collect. You get like badges for different things in nature that you can identify. And we've been using the things that we learned in this book about what different types of plants and flowers use to attract birds and insects to help them pollinate. We like understand what we're seeing now, which I think is really cool. So that's the Cook Prize. Next year, we're going to do it again. Every year, it's different. There are new books, and even though it's mostly a 4th grade project, because we are not in person this year, I want to do it again in 5th grade to be able to read to you in person. So we'll see what the nominees are next year. And I look forward to doing that together with you as 5th graders. We're going to move on now to Poetry Month. It is Poetry Month. I believe we talked about that a little bit last week, but we're going to keep getting into that. And I'm going to read you some poems today from a book that has been a highlight of 4th grade and into 5th grade for a while. We're going to read a few of the poems together, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the activities that Mrs. Neville and I have come up with for Poem in Your Pocket Day. Now, we're not together, obviously, but we've come up with a whole bunch of activities that you can do from home that we're going to encourage you to do to share poems with friends, with family, with your classmates, with people who live in your house, with people who live in your neighborhood, with people who live far away, without needing to be with them in person. So I'm going to read a couple of poems from this wonderful book called I'm Just No Good at Rhyming and Other Nonsense for Mischievous Kids and Immature Grown-Ups. Now, I must be one of these immature grown-ups because I love this book. This is a book that, if you think of books of funny poetry, I feel like most people, the first one they think of is Shel Silverstein. And his books, A Light in the Attic and Where the Sidewalk Ends, and many other great books of his, collections of really, really funny, silly poetry. And I love his illustrations in those books as well. This book, I feel like, is sort of like a modern, new take on that kind of silly poetry for kids. The illustrations in this book work with the poems, and I'm going to read a few of them to you today. And what I'm hoping is that in a couple weeks, maybe we can have a poetry reading online together, and I can share some of these poems with you that you can read to me as a class. I like to hear kids reading these poems. So I'm going to share a couple of them with you. So this is sort of the introduction in this book. This is the poem. I'm going to, because you kind of get the reverse view of these and the words are most of it, I'm going to show you the pictures, but I'm going to kind of turn it towards me so that while I'm reading the poem, and then I'll turn it back to you. Okay? This is called I'm Just No Good at Rhyming. I'm just no good at rhyming. It makes me feel so bad. I'm just no good at rhyming, and that's why I'm so blue. Blue? Now, I'm going to pause for a moment because the great thing about this poem is that the words are not what you expect. So let's just stop for a moment and read that stanza, that paragraph of the poem again, and think about the words that you expect to hear in a poem that does rhyme. I'm just no good at rhyming. It makes me feel so bad. I am just no good at rhyming. That's why I'm so, fill in the word, blue. Not what you expect here. My teacher asked me if I could find a word that rhymes with hat. It's something that a dog might chase. Aha, I said, fill it in, a car? My teacher asked if I could find a word that rhymes with wizard. It's something small with a tail. Aha, I said, what do you think it is? A puppy. My teacher asked if I could find a word that rhymes with wall. It's something you might try to catch. Get ready, catch it. I'm gonna throw the, I said, a lizard. I'm just no good at rhyming. I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm just no good at rhyming, and that's why I am so sad. I'm pretty good with meter and spelling and with timing, but I'll never be a poet because I can't rhyme words at all. So here he is, tongue-tied, not rhyming. So I think that's a great illustration of what's so fun about this book. It plays around with you. So this is one that I'm going to show you that has everything to do with the pictures. Now, you don't really think of a poem as being pictures. Now, what do you see here? A whole bunch of pictures that do they look different? No, they look exactly the same. Now, this is called Alphabet Book by the Laziest Artist in the World. Now, as I have been working with my son on his homework, and he argues with me about, do I have to do this? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do more? It kind of made me think of this. Alphabet Book by the Laziest Artist in the World. A is for anthill. B is for bridge. C is for cowboy hat. D is for dome. Do these pictures look different? E is for egg, sliced. F is for flying saucer. G is for golden sunset. H is for haystack. I is for island. J is for jumping rope ants. K is for kiwi, halved. L is for Lex Luthor, hiding. M is for mouse hole. N is for nothing. O is for orchestra pit. P is for parabola. Q is for quail, under a serving lid. R is for rainbow. S is for St. Louis. T is for tongue trying to touch a nose. R is for rainbow. Oh, excuse me. Did I just skip? Let's go back. Tongue trying to touch a nose. U is for upside down seesaw. V is for vault. W is for wart. X is for exactly like the last page. Y is for yurt. And Z is for zebra, dressed like a ghost for Halloween. Now, that is some lazy drawing. It's some pretty creative words and ideas. We're going to read one more. This is more of the kind of poem that I think of when I think of Shel Silverstein and silly poems like that. This is called My Dessert Tummy. And I'm sure that especially a lot of you, as you are at home and probably snacking a lot and maybe a little bored sometimes, think about when you are hungry for things that taste delicious and sweet, and when you're maybe not so hungry for things that are good for you. I don't mean to wow, I don't mean to flummox, but just like a cow, I too have 4 stomachs. My veggie fruit tummy, it isn't so big. A twig or a fig or one broccoli sprig will make me feel full and fat as a pig. My meat milk bread tummy's easy to cram with ham or Edam or PB and jam. Then ask if I'm full and I'll tell you I am. My salty snack tummy just hasn't felt right since the night I might have had every last bite of a pound bag of chips. Did it stay down? Not quite. But my dessert tummy, oh, my dessert tummy. It's like a vast cavern for everything yummy, a mammoth cave network for all that's not crummy. With alcoves for licorice, crannies for cakes, chambers for cherry pie, shaftways for shakes, tunnels for taffy, honey nut havens, nooks and crannies near rock candy cave-ins, fissures for fudge next to cruller crevasses, corridors coated with homemade molasses, burrows for bunnies both solid and hollowed, grottos for gum, which I shouldn't have swallowed. Potholes for pralines, peppermint pits, crawlways and hallways for banana splits, crackerjack cul-de-sacs, rooms for sweet rolls, starlight stalagmites by, yes, donut holes. And plenty more niches for things that are delicious. My dessert tummy, oh, my dessert tummy, it's so vast and spacious. I'm always voracious. In my dessert tummy, oh, my dessert tummy, an all candy diet would not satisfy it. Not my dessert tummy, oh, my dessert tummy. And that's why, Mother, I am truly not able to take one more bite of the steamed vegetable. And after you've thrown out what's here on my plate, a sundae or two would be just great. And here is that dessert tummy, so much bigger than all the others. See, maybe just a tiny bit of room for fruits and veggies. I definitely relate sometimes. And here at the bottom it says, a scientist has offered this vocal objection. This cows have 4 stomachs thing needs a correction. We've learned through many inspections and many dissections, it's really one stomach with 4 separate sections. And that is where we're going to conclude. We'll read some more from this book. I really enjoy it, and I love to be able to have you read poems with me and to me in class together. So we'll figure out a way to do that together. And I'm also going to post, like I said, a separate page that has ideas for Poem in Your Pocket Day. Now, we're not quite there yet. It's April 30th, so we have another week and a half. It'll be the Thursday of next week. We'll send out reminders, but some ideas that I'm going to share some pictures and a sheet that has a whole bunch of ideas for you. You can start thinking about what you might want to do because we want to see something from everybody. You can write a poem in chalk on the sidewalk in front of your house. You can post a poem in your window for people walking by to see. You can post a poem that you write on a piece of paper you can tape it to the bathroom mirror for people in your family to see. You can tape it to the fridge for people to see. Maybe even thinking about something like the poem that we just read about food. Perfect for a place in the kitchen that everybody sees. You can make a video for a friend or a family member, maybe a grandparent who's far away, or a cousin, or your best friend in class, and send them a video online that you make of yourself sharing a poem. It can be a silly poem, it can be a short poem, it can be a long poem, it can be a serious poem, it can be any kind of poem. It can be a poem you write yourself, it can be a poem that you like. I will be also sharing, along with the ideas for Poem in Your Pocket Day, I will be sharing some websites where you can find poems, because we don't expect everybody to have books of poems at home, but you might. And if you think of other creative ideas of how to share a poem, you can share them with your teachers. We love that too. You share them with me. But if you do something visual, take a picture of it and share it with me. And Mrs. Neville and I are going to make a collection of all the things that people in school, all different grades, are going to be coming together to. We're going to put all of these ideas together, things that you make separately, and we're going to make kind of a collage to share with everybody to see what everybody's been doing for Poem in Your Pocket Day. So get those ideas rolling. And I will talk to you next week. I'll be posting some other poetry ideas on your Google Classroom page during the week. Just keep checking in, but we'll have another lesson next week. And if you didn't get a chance to vote for the Cook Prize, you can still watch those videos anytime. We're going to kind of close that chapter for now, but you're welcome to still take a look at those, and you can vote if you feel like it. Okay. Hope everybody's well, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you, everybody.